What's up, everybody? Good morning. Hope y'all are swell. Duskbloods Info Out. There's a lot of empty space. I did a dash no AI search. I guess this is all AI section here. So there is official info, but there's also like clearly an NDA has lifted. Never thought that would happen. What information about Duskbloods? First of all, I haven't looked at any of it yet. I was doing stuff this morning, and then as I was getting ready to go live, about 30 minutes ago, I saw posts happening. Oh, what? Why would it be dash AI? Shouldn't it be no AI? Have you seen Dog Souls, aka Stray Dogs Nobody Cares, on YouTube? No. Dog Souls. Can we watch the GTA 6 ending first? Well, it's not minus, it's a dash for like a parameter, right? Like you do dash windowed or dash. All right, whatever. Okay, I don't care. It did change. It did change the look. Watch. Let's see. See? Versus. It changes it. I heard Oro went to an event to play. That lucky duck. He's got his hand in the PvEs and the PvPs. But first of all, let's see. There was official postings. I'm not logged in. Oh, right. This is a new PC. 1 second. Hold. All right. Right. Duskbloods. I was getting official updates on my phone. Here we go. Is it this one? They had a post to the guide. Yes. Hunt rival Bloodsworn and formidable foes alike in an 8-player Dusk battle. Form temporary pacts, create drama with your sigils, and seek virtue to avoid the culling. Let me make this bigger. Please see the guide below for game rules and tips on combat, exploration, and a variety of ways to secure victory. Holy shit, it's actually a video game that exists that they can provide details on. Before we do this, there was a video that went that was leaked last night. Having tuned into Oro's stream for like 5 seconds, it looks like it was just B-roll that they gave to people in order to kind of talk about Duskbloods and stuff. Can't stream the network test. I think I'm probably not going to do my face stream thing of the very first window of gameplay, because it's like 5 in the morning, dude. Like literally opposite time. But I'll do the one that's more reasonable timing. I don't even know if I'll play the super early one. Maybe like I'll catch like the last hour. But also, if you remember Night Rain, the very first one they did at 5 in the morning, we never got to play at all. It was just like login screens, and then that was it. That was it. So I'm not that it's going to necessarily be like that, but if there's going to be a shaky play window, it's probably going to be that. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Minty is 66 months. Welcome back. Good morning. Shutao, what are your thoughts on Mortal Shell 2? 8.5 out of 10. Super slapping solid game. Zinesius, 92 months. Archmage Salamar, 80 months. Naturalizer, 11 minutes ago. 39 months. Wahoo. Heck yeah, Archmage Salamar. Glad you're enjoying. So this is the official post. Let's take a look at the network test gameplay guide. Yeah. I was born in 1930. On the first of the month, first day. Summoned to the dusk of humanity. Ooh. The Bloodsworn fight over the first blood. Players will have to hunt wandering foes and survive fierce combat against other Bloodsworn in order to emerge victorious from the dusk battle. This page explains the game's basic systems. We get basics! And explains various tactics and methods needed to achieve victory in this network test. Dusk battles, like night... What do they call them? Night rains. Dusk battles determine the Bloodsworn who will reach the Blood Bestowal. Dusk battles are divided into 4 phases. Okay. 8 Bloodsworn are summoned to battle, and as the phases progress, they are culled by the Grail. In the final phase, the 3 Bloodsworn who survive the culling and are summoned by the Grail take on the final battle for bestowal. It's actually Battle Royale style. 1 person stands at the end. Holy shit. They're actually doing that. It's not extraction. Interesting. There were 14 classes that were leaked. Let's see if that matches. Holy shit. Oh, I see. Never mind. Jan? Jan? Okay, Jan. Zork? Layla. Almost Lila, dudes. Almost Lila. We got Albert. We got Bloodhand Jan. We got Trong Lan, Sniper Layla, Senator Samir Patres, and Zork. We can click these. What happens? Oh, shit. Okay. This goes into detail. Weapons. Lorik's jeweled saber / submachine gun. The treasured sword is used for melee attacks. It's joined by a submachine gun for range attacks. Bloodsworn skills. I imagine these are going to be like Night Rain abilities. Fires off a blade formed of the wielder's blood. Scales with wielder's blood caliber. Light of Hayern. Raises the crystal of light mounted on the casing and shines forth a beam of light. Aspects. High Lorik blood. Blood-based bloodsworn skills have additional usages. Good for him. Upriser. Increases stagger potential of attacks against bloodsworn with high virtue. What the fuck? Okay. This is all a different language for now. Weapons. Bloodhand Jan. God, this fucking potato sack outfit. Bloodthirsty Axe. Stone of Sorcery. A bloodstained battle axe made from a cast used for melee attacks. The Stone of Sorcery is embedded in the left hand. Is this it? It can be activated to unleash flames straight ahead. Bloodsworn skills. Blink. Use the wielder's blood to enhance the speed of evasion. Effect will be lost after some time. Surrender to my blood. Quench the axe's thirst with the wielder's blood. Strike the blade into the ground and rend the surrounding area with blood slashes. In the leaked video that I saw, which is definitely just the B-roll that's out there now, you can see this dude doing some crazy shit. What if it's Jan? Okay, it could be Jan, but I'm going to call him Jan. Because, okay, Jan. Bloodhand Lineage. Counterattacking after receiving damage restores HP. Ooh, I like that. Gotta like that. Lord of Blood heals HP of spellbound foes and also boosts attack power. All right. Trong Lan. Full Moon Blade. A circular blade made from cold silver. Can be used in melee combat or thrown like a chakram. Dark Moon conceals the body behind the Dark Moon for a limited period. Mama Natha summons a giant silver serpent, the guardian of the Ratnam, to attack the surrounding area. Alluring Bride aspect. Drinking blood also spellbinds nearby enemies. Is drinking blood a heal? I don't know. Daughter of the Dark Moon hides oneself from distant foes and makes one harder for foes to target. Oh, so they're just wearing that ring, right? You know. Sniper Layla. It's a crash test dummy that is, I don't know, on a fucking mean streak. Hieroglyph Katars and a sniper rifle. Dagger-like blades of polished bronze wielded in both hands for dealing melee attacks. They're paired with a ranged weapon in the form of a sizable sniper rifle capable of precision aiming. Nebra Vanishing. Assume the form of a swarm of insects to move to a distant location. The after image confuses foes. Okay. Verd Gatling Gun extracts a giant Gatling gun from the wielder's body, prepares to fire, and then unleashes a rapid-fire barrage. So he's got a Gatling gun and a sniper rifle? This is overkill. He's definitely encumbered. Nebra Lineage. HP is gradually restored to half of max. A Gold Blood Stake restores... Oh, so that's the healing item. Gold Blood Stake, presumably. Restores less than others. Night Eye, longer range for lock-ons and observation. So you can see enemies further away. With a sniper? Shit. Senator Samir Patres. Senate Rapier. Soulbird Ring. A well-tempered, narrow-bladed straight sword used to perform melee attacks as the primary weapon. The ring sends forth a prehistoric spectral bird for ranged attacks. This is threaded cane mixed with owl, with the spectral bird anyways. Bloodstake. Form a swamp of blood at the feet of foes. A colossal bloodstake rises from the swamp. Cool. Saurian form. He's the dinosaur? He's the dinosaur. Assume the form of a carnivorous dinosaur before charging at foes and attacking with powerful jaws. Aspects, which I assume are like passives. Yeah. Lowers required blood sworn skill level. Unshakable sword. Perfect guarding boosts melee attack power. Oh, okay. Perfect guards. All right. Pojo Jojo, 68 months. Welcome back. Thank you for the resub. Zork! This does not look functional. Zork! Undersea cable / spear gun. A severed portion of an outmodded undersea cable for melee attacks is the primary weapon. The spear gun is fired for ranged attacks. He's got a missile, deploys a cannon from the back of the diving suit, assumes a firing stance, and then fires. Okay. Zork Rule 34. Calm down now. Outmoded. Interesting. Human rocket deploys a propulsion mechanism from the back of the diving suit, shifting to flight mode and charging straight ahead. I doubt that means actually being able to fly around the map, but you never. What's dripping from his crotch? Law of the Deep Sea. Defeat Bloodsworn to steal max HP. Any HP gained is lost if defeated by a victim. So respawning, potentially, then? We're going to learn all this later. I'm just surmising while I read these first details. Dread Resonance. A howl of inhuman sonic wavelength. Hold down, oh god, L and ZR to extend howling. Oh god. Oh god, switch controls. Exactly, Pyration, which is to say that you are in a match with people and dying and respawning, potentially. So, not like, it's not like permadeath and you're knocked out. These 6 Bloodsworn are available in the network test. The player character. They possess superhuman abilities, including high jumping, air jumping, and dashing. And they fight using weapons suited for melee or ranged combat, each with different origins. They also possess unique abilities and special powers known as Bloodsworn skills. Bloodsworn skills and aspects are customizable in the release version. Okay. The Lands of Dusk. Ken Coldblood, Zork! Everybody's coming to say Zork! Bloodsworn are summoned to the Land of Dusk when the battle begins. In the network test version, hold on, looking. In the network test version, the battle is set on just one of those lands, Lowanro City. In addition to a towering cock tower and cathedral and the city spreading around them, there is a multi-layered landscape of multiple regions, including a cave, a forest, and a lake. Okay. Bloodsworn are also able to revive any number of times in this land until they fail to survive the culling. Okay. Head east, Ken Coldblood. What's up, Natsafan? How's it going? Explore this land freely to enhance your Bloodsworn and obtain virtue to survive the Grail's culling. Virtue. Virtue is needed. Ew! She riding that? Oh, it's a headless horse. Never mind. I thought it was like a spider person. Virtue is needed to survive dusk battles. Only the Bloodsworn with the highest virtue in the second and third phases survive the culling and proceed to the next phase. Virtue can be obtained not just through battle, exploration, and strategy. Here we will explain the various ways to earn virtue, which is like match points, is what I'm gathering. Within the Lands of Dusk, there are great foes. These are stronger than even than other enemies. Go figure. Then there are even greater outside threats called trespassers. You can get repulsion virtue by defeating these enemies. Great foes and trespassers are formidable opponents. Before taking them on, it's best to enhance your Bloodsworn. I wonder if you have like PvE early and then PvP later. Again, we're going to learn all this. Pogorhythmic 5 gifted subs. Thank you, Pog. Ben Flap, welcome back as well. Music, man. Flame virtue can be obtained by lighting flames within the skulls of corpses sitting on chairs scattered around the lands of dusk. There are lantern corpses that are a degree larger. These grant even more virtue, but only the first person to light them will receive it. But the small ones, okay. Maybe. It might be PvE phase and then PvP phase. They said there's 4 phases to this. We know the last one is basically a 3-person battle to the death. Here we go. Earning virtue at ritual sites. In the second and third phases, after enough time has passed, a ritual site appears. There are 2 ways to earn virtue at ritual sites. Challenge other Bloodsworn in battle, or evade combat and make a pledge. How you maneuver at ritual sites is critical for earning virtue to survive the culling. Tanya, thank you for 31 months. Welcome back. So you choose to group up or choose to kill each other. Interesting. I feel like it's mostly going to be kill each other, but you never know. We'll see. Sword virtue. You can get sword virtue by defeating other Bloodsworn at ritual sites. This virtue is not earned outside of ritual sites. Michael Bird. No, I haven't done anything yet except start reading the official guide. Then we're going to go into what people have played, seen, released, and what they say. Pledge virtue. Blood pledge pillars can be found within each ritual site. Swear to them to earn pledge virtue. This virtue is lost if the pledge is overwritten by another Bloodsworn. Yeah, but then you're going to be a target for everyone else, right? Red stones and gold stones. At ritual sites, there are rock plinths from which you can claim red stones and gold stones. Only one type can be claimed at a time. While you have a red stone, you can earn more sword virtue. While you have a gold stone, you can earn more pledge virtue. Use different strategies that mesh well with your own playstyle to earn virtue, such as getting a red stone and vanquishing other players, or getting a gold stone and evading combat to make a pledge. Note, if you leave a ritual site after entering, you'll be penalized for your desertion with a loss of HP. This sounds very complex, but I'm sure it's the... I mean, Night Rain was like, what the fuck's going on? And dying all the time until you played a few matches, and then you start to get... You get a route, you get strategies, and then you just build it. Yeah. Mark's Aldehyde, Zork, and KP the PK. Welcome back. Commendation virtue. There are 2 types of commendations, and the players with the highest and second highest values for each of these can earn virtue at the end of each phase. Bloodfang commendation. Defeating an enemy contributes towards this commendation. All enemies are legitimate targets. Okay, so even killing PvE gets you Bloodfang commendation, I guess. Collector commendation. Acquiring items by exploring contributes toward this commendation. The rarer the item, the greater the contribution. Also, newly acquired items make a large contribution to the commendation. Items dropped by enemies do not affect the commendation. So exploring the world and picking up items. Huh. Okay, enhancing Bloodsworn. Leveling up. This is so much information. After like absolute silence for the last year. You can earn experience and level up by defeating enemies and other players, increasing HP and attack power. Okay, sounds like Night Rain in that sense. Some Bloodsworn skills become available only when you reach certain levels. Makes sense. It doesn't look like you're looking for gear though. Compacts with kin. Those who have entered an agreement with the Order of Dusk are known as kin. Kins enter compacts with the Bloodsworn, lending their power. Okay. Compacts with kin are formed at summoning circles, found at the base of the chains of light that stretch into the sky. There are 3 types of kin summoning circles: ring, blade, and eye. Each of these has a different type of kin you can compact with. Note, 8 kin exist in the network test version. That's just in the network test version. Okay. Everybody got that? Got it? There are various types of kin who can offer support in Bloodsworn battles, each with their own unique abilities. These include a young swordswoman of a clandestine society, a sorcerer who has mastered the flame, a prisoner who can protect allies by singing. Oh, we saw that guy in the first trailer. The ma looking guy. And a black wolf who lords over a forest. So these are actually like summons. Companions. Kin advancement. When you defeat enemies while accompanied by a kin, your kin also gains experience and levels up, increasing both health and attack power. Some may even gain access to new attacks based on their level. So maybe rushing kin is a good strat? I don't know. Taking on great foes. PvEers, listen up. Powers of Blood. You can acquire Powers of Blood, which grant various powers to Bloodsworn, which is players, I think, by defeating great foes and trespassers. You'll select and acquire one of the two options. Up to 5 acquired Powers of Blood can be manifested at one time. Adjust these through the Blood Manifestation and Quick Items menu. Continuous HP recovery. All attack up +1. Stake potency up. That's the healing. Physical defense up. Okay. Is this going to be RNG hell? Like if you roll all attack up +3 or some shit, now you got a huge advantage? I don't know.
Extraordinary.
Dupa. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you very much. Co-op battles with other Bloodsworn. When a battle with a trespasser begins... Ew. Does it have 6 legs? Is that like legs back here? Other nearby Bloodsworn are invited to join forces to do battle against it. Then you can work with Bloodsworn who accept the request in the battle. So you have like modes of cooperation and uncooperation. Big fan of Titty Frog's name. Oh, I don't see it here. We'll see. Exploring different regions. Several different features appear in the regions of the Land of Dust during each phase. Some may give you advantages in battle. It is wise to consider the features of each region on the map and seek out the ones that suit your own playstyle. Regional feature. Whoa. Bloodsworn skill enhancement. Blood sacks wander the land. By defeating them, you will receive blood crystals to enhance your skills. Seems good. Regional feature weapon enhancement. Alchemy forges appear, which you can use to imbue weapons with fire or other affinities. Enhancing a weapon again at a matching alchemy forge will raise its enhancement level by 1. Okay. Regional feature kin enhancement. Okay. Small kin summoning circles appear. You can enhance compacts with kin, yielding a large amount of experience for partnered kin. Basically, summon. You can buff your summon. You can also boof your summon, but probably not in this version of the game. Snowshade, 102 months. Thank you so much. Penis. All right. Getting items during exploration. You can get items by finding them through exploration or by defeating enemies. There's a wide variety of items. Some, like the Fire Flask, which sets a raging blaze, give you advantages in battle, while the Memorial Stake can be planted in the ground to let you revive in that location after death. Bed. The final phase, Moonblood Bestowal. The Grail may beckon 3 Bloodsworn, but the moon tears will flow for 1 and 1 alone. At the end of Phase 3, the 3 Bloodsworn with the highest virtue are beckoned, and a battle is held. The Grail grants each Bloodsworn 2 lives, and additional HP is granted based on virtue earned up to the final phase. Aim for victory as you make use of everything from the phases up to this point, including the enhancements of your Bloodsworn, your kin's power, and items you've gathered. I'm wondering how long a match is, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Elements that change the battle. Alliances. You can form alliances with rival Bloodsworn. Petition other Bloodsworn you encounter for an alliance. If they accept, you temporarily become confederates working together to reach the final phase. Confederates in an alliance cannot harm each other, and confederates share sword virtue and pledge virtue earned at ritual sites with one another. Alliances are disbanded in the final phase. Say your farewells to your allies and aim for the blood bestowal. It's bittersweet. Sigils establish relationships with other Bloodsworn. When a Bloodsworn is etched with a sigil, the player will be given a unique objective that can net them virtue. The unique objectives include tasks like defeating a particular Bloodsworn or forming an alliance and aiming for the final phase. Identify participating Bloodsworn associated with you and strive to complete your objective. There are 4 sigils in total in the network test version. Sigil of a sworn enemy, sigil of an old friend, sigil of the Eye of Morales, and sigil of love ephemeral. No, these can be changed freely in the release version. You get to choose. Interesting. I want to marry Dist. I'm going to find Dist and marry him. Events. In Phase 2 and 3, there may be events that change the lands of Dusk. There may be unexpected developments, such as Zeppelin appearing in the sky, from which you can request supporting They got fucking... Oh my god. Like drone fucking assist. Oh my god. Okay, alright. Or a powerful storm that forcefully transports players to other locations. Holy shit. If I get Killtastic, can I summon in the Mortar Zeppelin? Prowling Sword Lion. A Duskin Spectre prowls the skies. Oh, I love the tarot shit. That's so cool. Damn. That's super cool. Duskin Spectre prowls the skies. A Lodomerian Zeppelin bearing the crest of the Sword Lion. Without a doubt, the Earth will be engulfed in a sea of flame. Received Transmitter. You get a fucking remote. Beep. Tips. House of Night, the base of the Bloodsworn. You can choose which Bloodsworn to use in Dusk battles or learn basic controls and rules in this network test. Battle Remembrance. What are these menus, dude? Okay. The first night you are drawn to Dusk, in which you meet Jan of the Bloodhands. I'm just going to call him Jan, dude. I don't know. On this night, you can learn basic actions and their controls. You can experience parts of Dusk battles and learn the rules. Oh, AI, I don't want to say AI because that's wrong, but NPC-led tutorial things. Once you visit the House of Night, it's recommended that you first try experiencing the battle between Bloodsworn from this menu. Archive. This is just information. Can be reviewed at any time, including tutorials, Bloodsworn weapons akin you've encountered, a compact within Dusk battles, items you acquired, powers of blood, and events you've encountered. And also open the archive from the info screen, even in the middle of a Dusk battle. Courtyard. Here you can practice controls on the Graveyard Scarecrow or try out Bloodsworn actions. You can also change various settings, including changing the Graveyard Scarecrow to a different opponent from the menu, entering a compact with any kin, or changing your Bloodsworn level. Sure? Selecting game rules. Casual match. Dude. Okay. In the Dusk battle, you can configure matchmaking. Only standard is selected by default, but you can also select the No Alliances or Bloodbound Alliances rule. No alliances. With this rule, you cannot form alliances. Bloodbound, from phase 1 through the final phase, all Bloodsworn battle as pairs in a blood pact. Bloodbound alliances are not abandoned even after entering the final phase. Giving these compatriots, I can duo with Dist, and we can giving these compatriots the chance to revel in a final victory together. Note, for the release version, we plan to implement a feature that allows you to go into matchmaking already in a blood pact with a friend you invite. That's for the release version. So you can do this for the network test, though, the non-inviting one. It seems like there would like only be duos or solos. This is not extraction. This is more battle royale, my kati. You actually have a final battle at the end, and the last team or person standing wins. Knowledge and skills for combat. Staggering enemies. Stagger gauges. Drinking blood. You can suck the blood of staggered enemies, inflicting large damage while also recovering your own HP. Weaker-willed foes will be spellbound when their blood is drunk. Once spellbound, they follow and obey their newfound master. Holy shit. Okay. All Bloodsworn are able to howl producing a gust of wind. Performing a howl in time with an enemy's attack will interrupt that attack and greatly increase their stagger gauge. Howling can also be used to deflect some ranged attacks. Everybody howls. Guys, this isn't a clone of anything. This is fucking crazy. It's like the closest is Night Rain, but not even, because it's... Guard! Bloodsworn are able to generate a shield to block frontward attacks. Receiving repeated attacks will break the shield, creating a large opening. Broken shields are repaired over time. Guard counters. You can perform guard counter. Nice. Immediately after guarding against an enemy attack, this will make you more resistant to interruptions from enemy attacks. Refilling gold blood stakes. Gold blood stakes recover Bloodsworn HP. To replenish them, defeat enemies or find obtainable effects around the map. Nice. Being able to recover your heals. Very good. Target lock switching. Oh. Yeah. Looking at the info screen. Make bigger! My control key just came off when I did control scroll wheel. Spirit. Oh, these are the player names. You know? Off the bat, the other players in the match? So if I see Dist, I could like find him and like I could like seek him out and then try and make an alliance with him. Sworn enemy. Euthania, Cathedral, City Streets, Cave, Sewer, Forest of Heresy, Clock Tower, Underground Ruins, Nethergate Lake, Lethe Great Bridge, Bloodsack Gala. Hunt down the swarming Bloodsacks. This is an event. And then the quest, Sigil of a Sworn Enemy, locate and defeat Sworn Enemy. Maybe that's like the type of match you have, Sworn Enemy. Again, all of this is going to be explained when I watch like Oro's experience or something like that. Because some people got to go out to an event to play or something. I haven't even looked at that yet. This is literally the first thing I'm looking at for Duskblood, so I'm learning. Regional features. Several regional features appear in each of the regions. These features change each phase, and you can check the icon next to the area name to see them. Obtain Flame Virtue. Corpses sitting in chairs appear in the city streets. Bloodsworn skill enhancement. Blood sacks appear. Ah, I see. Okay, so you have to like, really learn these icons. This is kin enhancement. Kind of makes sense. It looks like Bloodborne kin rune stuff. And it's a summoning circle. A little circle. Weapon enhancements, alchemy forges. That makes sense. Okay, all right. Instant travel. By selecting this on the map, you can travel to that location. This greatly expands your search range. However, it cannot be used during the following times. At the start of the phase, for a period after you instant travel or revive, or while engaged in battle. You can just fast travel around the map. Trespasser locations are shown as big skulls. Ooh! Strong trespassers. Okay. All right. Changing settings and game options. Left stick control is an auto close info screen upon damage. Yeah. Special controls emote. You can hold down plus. Thank God, not motion controls. Perform various emotes. Some emotes are important for fulfilling the goals for certain sigils. Function menu. Press and hold Y. X. Okay. The heal button. The item button, usually. You can petition Locked On Bloodsworn for an alliance with this. You can also petition Bloodsworn if encountered in battle for an alliance from the info screen. But you have to have encountered them. You can place pins on the screen and use them as markers for exploration. You can also place pins anywhere on the info screen map. Okay. Observer view. If you lock onto other Bloodsworn in observer view, you can view info about them. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, especially if you're either in an alliance or doing the mode where you don't PvP till the end, you can lock on and learn about people. That's kind of crazy. Fire Skull, welcome back. Thank you so much. It's not just PvP Night Rain. Summoning kin. Summon and dismiss kin. When kin die, they're automatically dismissed from battle. Cannot be summoned back for a period of time while dismissed or not in combat. A kin's HP will be gradually restored. You cannot dismiss kin while they're being attacked. That's it. That's the end. That's it. So it's just Minecraft. Yes. Okay, that is the official stuff. Marriage. That's so cute. This game is so orange. I like it though. Okay. Now let's look at some posts. Polygon, the Duskbloods full character list officially revealed. Full character list? Did they release? No, they didn't release another trailer. Albert, we read about him. Jan, Tranglan, Sniper Layla, Dusk has blood. Senator Samir Patres. Are there more deets? No, it's like the same. What is this though? Wait a minute. Some of them have different. R plus A. I don't really have to like evasive attacks. Bro, this is like a whole new control scheme. I don't fucking know. Hold XL? What is XL? Do they mean ZL? And press L. What is... Yo, Josh Reno! What is up? How's it going, man? Thank you so much for the raid. Glor Pie. You need the XL Switch 2 for that. Damn it! We're looking at Duskbloods info because it all came out, dude. I don't know. Yeah, we read about this guy. He can headbutt! Saurian form, level 6. Assume the form of a carnivorous dinosaur before charging on a foe and taking him in its great jaws. Yep. Zork. Unknown. Oh. They said the full list. Okay, they meant the network test. All the ones confirmed. Okay. Full character list officially. Fucking clickbait. What do you have to say, IGN? Oh. Whatever. We'll look at videos. I want to look at stuff that like Oro and we can watch the Bati video as well. They must mean ZL, right? Tokyo! Oh, I'm so jealous. God damn. Well, I got to go for Sekiro, so there's that. But still. I want to go to Tokyo. I'm still close network test trailer. All right, there's a lot of info. That's a lot of info, and we read a lot of info. All right. Let's see. Did Oro put a video out? I'm curious. Because Oro's the big PvP bro. There's Vatis. We'll watch some Vatis. Wait. Okay. Oh, wait. This is it. This is not live. Oh, shit. 30 minutes, bro. Okay, hold on. Where's my music? Where's my music? I know he's been streaming. I
have the honor and privilege to give you your first look at the Duskbloods gameplay. This gameplay is not my own. It was provided by From Software. Now, I was fortunate enough to get invited by Nintendo and From Software to their offices in Tokyo, Japan, to get a chance to play the Duskbloods early. I got to play the network test version of the game for about 10 hours. In this video, I'm going to go in depth and explain every last detail of the game and my opinion on it as a Souls PvP vet since Demon's Souls in 09. Let's start by answering the question, what type of game even is this? Well, the Duskbloods is a multiplayer action PvPvE game. And if you had to define the genre, it's closest to a battle royale with some roguelike elements. But honestly, this game is so incredibly unique that it's impossible to define it to a single genre. Each match or Dusk battle features 8 players and lasts about 30 minutes. You have infinite lives until the final round, but there are eliminations based on points. These points, known as virtue, can be earned from multiple different ways, including exploring, PvE, and PvP. The objective of the game is to get as much virtue as possible before the time runs out and make it to the final round, the blood bestowal. Because you are against the clock, every second counts. You can choose from multiple game modes, solo, solo without alliances, or duos.
It runs so well.
There's also a ranked mode available in the full game. There are going to be 3 maps in total, but the network test only features the one, Loranro City. Characters in this game are called Bloodsworn, and there are over 10 to choose from. each with unique weapons and abilities. Please note that there are only 6 available in the network test. Now, throughout the course of a match, you can summon kin to fight alongside you, create alliances with other players, fight giant bosses called trespassers, and power up your Bloodsworn in multiple different ways to prepare for the final battle.
What did Ring Bell do?
Now, there's a lot to
virtue?
go over and explain, but let's start by talking about Bloodsworn.
This is Sniper,
Bloodsworn
bro.
can level up by defeating enemies and earning XP, increasing their maximum health and attack throughout the match. Leveling up allows you to use their second, more powerful skill. Skills have infinite uses, but long cooldowns. Each Bloodsworn has their own unique weapons that cannot be changed. A lot of Bloodsworn get boosts to their spellbinding.
Damn,
When you
Giga
stagger
Snipe.
and riposte, aka drink the blood of a lesser enemy in this game, it will become spellbound to you and serve as a temporary ally. One of the Bloodsworn is able to extend their howl, and howling is an attack that can be done by any Bloodsworn by pressing L and ZR at the same time. This doesn't do much damage, but it does a lot of stagger, allowing you to instantly stagger opponents with a high stagger gauge. Now that we covered the basics, let's go over each of the
you can't
6
stream it
playable
tomorrow.
Bloodsworn in the network test.
Or you
First
can't
is
stream it.
John Duskbloods, also known as Albert. He uses a saber and SMG and can do a unique follow-up slash after shooting. His first skill is Bloodblade, which is similar to Bloodblade in Elden Ring. It can be charged for more range and damage, and it's really nice to just throw out from range or after a combo.
Big range.
His second skill, Light of Aearn, is the super laser beam he can cast out of his hand. Think Comet Azure, but you can slightly move it while casting. Does a decent amount of damage and knocks players down when it lands. He has 2 passives, which are called aspects. His first aspect is High
That's the
Loric
singing,
Blood,
bro.
which gives blood-based skills additional uses. The second is Upriser, which increases the stagger of your attacks against Bloodsworn with high virtue. This is a super cool passive because it means if you're behind in the match, someone with higher points than you is going to take more stagger damage. You're going to be able to take him out a lot easier.
Okay, cool.
The next character is Bloodhound Jan,
Interesting.
a crazy
Jan!
axe murderer in
It
his
is
pajamas.
Jan.
He's also the Bloodborne character, and you'll see why very soon. He has his Bloodthirsty axe and uses stone sorcery for his ranged attack. His first skill, Blink, is almost 1-1 the old Hunter Bone from Bloodborne.
Nice.
And if you haven't played Bloodborne, you consume an item that super buffs your dodges for a time, turns them into teleports, and gives you extra range, speed, and recovery. It's insane. Now, this skill is super fun to use because it allows you to be extra aggressive and stay on your opponent. His second skill, Surrender to My Blood, is a huge AoE blood slam he does with his axe. It's similar to Malekith's Black Blade weapon art, Destined Death. I found it very difficult to land on other players, but when it did, it absolutely shredded them. His first aspect, Bloodhand Lineage, is literally just Bloodborne's regain mechanic.
Nice.
This means when you take damage, you can recover your health back if you attack an enemy quick enough. This promotes aggression and is generally really strong if you can make good use of it without getting hit too much. His second aspect, Lord of Blood, heals the HP of your spellbound foes and boosts their attack power. The next Bloodsworn is Trang Lan. She uses her full moon blade for her melee and range attacks. Her first skill is called Dark Moon, that makes her completely invisible. The downside is that it has a long casting time, so you really can't use it in the middle of combat.
Wow.
Her second skill is called Mama Nantha, and it summons a giant serpent that coils around her and lunges out of the opponent.
It's Mesmer.
It can also be controlled by holding a direction while casting, allowing you to do some crazy stuff with it. Her first aspect is Alluring Blade, which causes drinking blood to spellbind nearby enemies. Her second aspect is Daughter of the Dark Moon, which makes it harder for foes to target her. Next is my personal favorite Bloodsworn, Sniper Layla. She uses her Katars and Sniper Rifle. The Katars have very low range, but high damage if they connect. And the Sniper Rifle is extremely powerful and so much fun to use. You can even free aim with the sniper and look down the scope to snipe people.
Ooh,
Her sniper
nice.
shots also stun opponents, making them very
aim,
threatening
though.
and an incredible punish tool from any range.
Console aim.
Her first skill is Nebra Vanishing, which is a long distance teleport. You can use it to rush down opponents or get away from them. It's an incredible repositioning tool.
What the
Her
fuck?
second skill is Verd Gatling Gun. It does what it says on the tin. And honestly, it wasn't great if the opponent was paying any attention, since it has a very long startup and can be easily interrupted. However, if you get the opportunity to cast it and your opponent's low on health, it's incredibly powerful. Her first aspect is Nebra Lineage, which gradually restores her HP to 50% of your maximum.
Yeah, we're
This
watching
is an
Oro.
incredibly strong passive, even though the regen is quite slow. Her second aspect,
What was
Night Eye,
it? I'm
strong
sorry.
passive, even though the regen is quite slow.
Regens you to
Her
50%.
second aspect, Night Eye, gives her longer range for lock-on and observation. Next is Senator Samir Patrez. He uses a rapier and soulbirds for his ranged attack.
Soulbirds.
His first skill, Bloodstake, is similar to Briars of Punishment from Elden Ring.
Oh,
It sends
God.
a trail underground towards your opponent and explodes when it reaches them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
His second skill, Saurian Form, is the infamous dinosaur command grab. You literally transform into a dinosaur and charge forward, attempting to grab anything you touch. The charge is extremely fast. It does a ton of damage if it lands, and it yeets the opponent away from you when you're done chomping them
Yeets
to
them.
bits. It's hilarious. The throw at the end of the grab can actually ledge opponents, doing even more damage to them. However, the skill can be easily dodged if you're paying attention. But even the threat of this skill demands constant vigilance from the other players. His first aspect, Blood Disciple, lowers the required Bloodsworn skill levels. And his second aspect, Unshakable Sword, makes your perfect guards boost melee attack power. Lastly, we have Zork,
guards.
the weird rocket man. He
No.
wields an undersea cable and a spear gun. His attacks are very slow, but do tons of damage and have hyper armor. His first skill, Human Rocket, lets him hover in the air for a moment before propelling forward,
Oh my
dealing
God,
massive
dude.
damage to your target if it lands. This skill can be used without lock-on to just fly across the map.
His name is
It
Zork,
also has
dude.
tons of hyper armor and is near impossible to interrupt, so it needs to be respected.
What the
His
fuck?
second skill, Missile, fires a barrage of missiles in the air that home down on the target. The missiles put a lot of pressure on your opponent and do a ton of damage if they land. His first aspect, Law of the Deep Sea, allows him to steal maximum HP from other Bloodsworn when he drinks their blood. His extra HP is lost if they defeat you. I saw the power of this aspect myself when I saw a health bar stretch across the screen, wondering what the hell happened and who is this guy. Turns out it was Katao himself, the producer of the game, playing with us.
Nice.
And absolutely annihilating us. Anyways, his second aspect, Dread Resonance, allows him to extend howling by holding down the buttons. So that's it for the 6 playable Bloodsworn in the network test. Each one is extremely unique and super fun to play. In the full version, they said you'll be able to actually customize your Bloodsworn. To what extent, I'm not sure.
Skins.
Now that we talked about Bloodsworn, let's move on to Kin. Kin are allies you can summon to aid you in combat. Unlike Elden Ring, these Kin will follow you and assist you everywhere,
No, he's reading a script that he wrote, dude. He mostly does. I mean, he did
including the final battle.
edited videos.
The first thing you should do every match is run
I've
towards
been
the
to these
summoning circle
events.
to make a pact with
They
one.
don't give you scripts
You can
to
find
read.
summoning circles easily by the pillars of light beaming towards the sky. Kin level up alongside you, receive upgrades, and grow in power. There are also certain Kin who get new attacks just by leveling up. Now, there are 3 types of Kin.
Or borrow, yeah.
Ring, Blade, and Eye. The type of Kin you'll receive is shown by the emblem above the summoning circle. The exact Kin summoned is completely random inside of their category. In the full game, there's going to be a way to summon the exact Kin you want every match. You can summon other Kin during the match, but it'll overwrite your old Kin. If they die, they'll go on cooldown and you'll have to wait to resummon them. There are 8 total Kin in the network test. First, let's go over Ring Kin.
I don't think
Baritone-
in the official script they wouldn't have him comparing things to what they were in like Elden Ring and that sort of thing, you know, and calling him John Dusk. I trust me because I've been to events with Oro and I know how he works too.
The naked singing
This
man
is
who will
just
buff you
he just made notes as you do. If you do something like this, you're just like trying to make notes as you play, and you have like 10 hours. He had 10 hours. I had like 2 hours to play Sekiro and two hours to play Night Rain. And so we would do stuff, and then we'd be like, write it down, like so we can talk about it later, you know.
Let's go over Ringkin. There's Baritone,
Ringkin.
the naked singing man who will buff you up with his beautiful singing voice. There's
Naked
Undead
singing.
Marlowe, who sprays poison everywhere. And then there's Nia, sister of the Briar, who wields dual swords and is generally awesome.
Nice.
Next up, we have the
Nia.
Bladekins. First is the Black Wolf of Moors, which is a wolf that has really low HP but fast movement and a really strong command grab. Then there's Gunslinger Beatrice. who wields dual-wield pistols and fires tons of bullets.
Okay.
And Thaumaturge Avister, who uses pyromancy. Now we're on to the Ikins. First is the Gargoyle, who acts as a healer. She was incredibly powerful and completely obnoxious. I always went for her first. And lastly, there's Valentius the Unwise, who's a fat official who rides around in a chariot.
Fat official?
He's incredibly fast, super tanky, and has an amazing command grab.
Ugh. Okay.
Now, Duskbloods is unique in that it allows you to team up with other players mid-match anytime you want. This is called an alliance. You can propose and accept an alliance anytime before the final round.
So interesting.
You can request an alliance with anyone you've seen in-game.
After
accepting an alliance, you will share half the virtue you acquire at a ritual site with your ally. More on ritual sites in just a moment. You can also teleport directly to their location using an item called the Fellowship Medal. You can also see their outline through walls and no longer be able to lock on or damage them. If you decide to break an alliance before the final round, you will have to forfeit part of your maximum health to your allied partner. When the final phase arrives, all alliances automatically become void. If you don't like alliances, you can always select the no alliances option before matchmaking. Now let's talk about virtue and how to earn it. The objective of the game is to get the most points, aka virtue, and make it to the final phase, the Blood Bestowal. You have infinite lives until the Blood Bestowal, and the players with the least amount of virtue get eliminated at the end of later rounds. If you die, you lose a small amount of virtue, so you still need to be careful. You can get virtue in several different ways. You can obtain repulsion virtue by PvEing, flame virtue by just exploring, and virtue from completing your sigil. More on that later. You can also get virtue at the end of each phase through commendations. There are two types of commendations. Bloodfang commendation for defeating the most enemies, and collector commendation for collecting the most items. The final and best way to gain virtue is through ritual sites. Ritual sites only appear at the end of phase 2 and 3 and spawn in random areas on the map. When you enter a ritual site, you are bound inside of it, and if you try to leave, you'll take a massive amount of damage over time. When you defeat another player at a ritual site, you gain sword virtue, and when you capture the territories, aka the Blood Pledge Pillars, you gain pledge virtue. There are about 4 pillars spread out around the ritual site, and holding them gives more virtue over time. But you will lose some virtue when another player captures yours.
Oh my God.
When the ritual sites appear, there will also be 2 different kinds of stones that you can pick up to boost your virtue gain. Gold stone lets you acquire more pledge virtue, and red stones give you more sword virtue. You can only hold one of these stones at a time. You want to try to get as many kills and pillars as possible before the time runs out and the next phase begins. Each match has 3 phases. Phase 1 and 2 consist of all 8 players. At the end of phase 2 is the first calling, which eliminates 2 players with the least amount of virtue. This leaves 6 players left in phase 3. At the end of phase 3, 3 players with the least amount of virtue get eliminated. The final phase, the Blood Bestowal, begins with only 3 players remaining. Duos feature 4 players remaining, 2 teams of 2 instead. The Blood Bestowal can differ each match depending on certain factors. It can be a PvP deathmatch with 2 lives per player and the last player standing wins. Or it can turn into a co-op battle against a massive boss, similar to Night Rain. This is the core of Duskbloods.
What did you say about that?
Player standing wins and factors. It can be a PvP deathmatch with 2 lives per player and the last player standing wins. Or it can turn into a co-op battle against a massive boss, similar to Night Rain. This is the core of Duskbloods. I know it's a lot to take in.
It could end
and
in
extremely
a PvE?
confusing at first, but to keep it simple, the more virtue you have, the
Everdark
better.
Hailster.
The type of virtue doesn't matter. It just helps understand where you got it from.
Okay.
Big number equal good. Also, the more virtue you have of the Blood Bestowal, the more health you'll gain going into it. I really love the virtue system because it allows you to play this game your own way and still succeed. If you want to just explore and kill bosses and PvE the entire match, you can do that. Will it be the most efficient? Maybe not, but I really like that it's an option.
Interesting.
Sigils are a form of character customization that you'll be able to equip and change in between matches. For the network test,
Oh my God. Sigil of the Eye of Moralis. You were once an Inquisitor. Upon the completion of your onerous studies, you gained a third eye and immediately knew what had to be done. And so you set about unmasking and purging the defilers of the blood known as heretics. Now, like you, those heretics have been drawn to the dusk. In each phase, a single heretic is identified. The goal is to locate and expunge the heretic. So yeah, this is a quest to kill a very specific person in the match. After using the emote, a third eye I seek, target lock will identify heretics. Can only identify heretics after using emote. Okay. All right. Amogus, kind of.
Sigils are a form of character customization that you'll be able to equip and change in between matches. For the network test, each Bloodsworn has a certain sigil, but in the full game, you'll be able to change to whichever one you want. They enable new ways to gain virtue inside of a match and change how you play Duskbloods. There are a total of 4 sigils in the network test. The first sigil is Sigil of a Sworn Enemy.
Is that the
now, this
third
one
eye?
is fairly simple. Use perfume to find your sworn enemy and kill them anytime during the match. The second sigil is a Sigil of an Old Friend. This selects another player to be your old friend, and the objective is to find them, form an alliance, and make it to the final phase together. The third is the Sigil of the Eye of Moralis, which allows you to use an emote to find marked players and eliminate them. Now, the fourth and final sigil is the funniest and most interesting sigil of all. The Sigil of Love Ephemeral. The goal of the sigil is to find and propose to your lost love. You can find them using the perfume and offer them flowers, and if they accept, you'll become lovers and you try to make it to the final phase together. I just can't believe they did this. I love it. This is the best game ever. Finally, no longer maidenless.
Finally, no longer maidenless. Well, there's one that is like you group up with somebody else, right? You form an alliance, and this is basically like an alliance, but also you're in love. There's got to be something different, right? Right?
Anyways, moving on to Trespassers. Trespassers are boss enemies that you'll find throughout the map. Once you approach them, it'll automatically request help from other players in the match who can temporarily ally with you to help defeat it for virtue and upgrades. Once other players defeat or run away from the encounter, it will return them exactly where they were before they accepted. I love this mechanic. Trespassers are awesome. Going to fight one of these epic bosses and then suddenly a bunch of allies appear, all take it down together. It's such an amazing feeling. It feels like a mini Elden Ring Night Rain raid that just happens, and it's so cool. I can't get over it. There are several ways to upgrade your Bloodsworn. The first is through the power of blood, which is a blood rose that drops from defeating great foes or trespassers.
What is this to improve your what?
There are several ways to upgrade your Bloodsworn. The first
sworn, your character, your player,
is through the power of blood, which is a blood rose that drops from defeating great foes or trespassers. Okay. This gives you the choice between 2 passive abilities that are randomly selected from a massive pool of possible passives.
All right.
These can range from several things like more stamina recovery to more maximum health or even more weapon damage. The second way is through alchemy forges. These forges imbue your weapon and upgrade its damage. You can imbue your weapon with iron, lightning, flame, or poison. Iron boosts your weapon's raw damage. Lightning gives you an extra stun when it procs, allowing you to 3-hit combo. Flame proxing gives you an extra stun when it procs, allowing you to 3-hit combo. Flame procs do damage over time. And shockingly, poison poisons, which also does damage over time. After you imbue your weapon, you can increase the enhancement level by 1 per forge as long as the type matches your current imbuement. You can change your imbuement, but it will lower your enhancement level. You can check the map to see where alchemy forges appear to go search for them. Thirdly, you can grab small kin summoning circles that can spawn throughout the map that'll give your kin a huge level boost. And lastly, blood crystals can be used to enhance your Bloodsworn skills. These crystals are found from blood sacks, enemies that run away from you when spotted, essentially the crystal lizards of Duskbloods. Once you defeat them and obtain the crystal, you'll get skill attack boost, cooldown reduction, or uses, or level requirement reductions. You can also check the map for blood sacks to see where they appear. There are also
I think they said a game is around 30 minutes or so. I think that's what they said. They might talk about it more.
You can find lying around the map.
Consumables?
These consumables range from healing items to status recovery. You can also obtain consumable skills that'll allow you to cast a third skill from your consumables. These skills are consumable, so they're limited in use.
Okay.
Let's talk about events. There are mid-match events that will happen during Phase 2 and 3 that can drastically affect the gameplay. There are 5 events total in the network test. The first event is the Prowling Sword Lion. This event spawns a blimp that hovers over the map. Each player gets a transmitter that they can use to call an airstrike down and instantly bomb everything in the vicinity, including themselves if they're not careful. Don't ask me how I know.
Oh my god.
The second event is called the Nearly Storm. This event randomly spawns lightning storms that strike the player and teleport them. The Blood Sack Gala is exactly what it sounds like. This event spawns tons of blood sacks in an area and allows you to power up your skills with blood crystals incredibly quickly.
Holy.
Star Fragment is my favorite event. This event has star fragments fall from the sky, and if you grab them and survive with them until the end of the phase, you get a massive virtue bonus. Other players can see when you have a star fragment and they will murder you for them. The final event is Dusk's Toll. This event requires you to climb the clock tower and ring the clock bell. The blessing it grants is diminished each time the bell is rung, but it enhances the effect of gold stones, which gives you more virtue when you pledge to a pillar during the ritual. The House of Night is the new hub area for Duskbloods.
Ooh.
Here, you can queue up for a match, select your Bloodsworn, redo the tutorials, read the archive, or change system settings. These tutorials are actually extremely helpful, by the way. They put you in an environment with nothing but bots that allows you to learn the game at your own pace.
Yeah, you can bot.
The archive contains a ton of in-game information and lore. It also grows as you discover more about the game. There's also a training dummy in the courtyard with tons of options you can set to practice. Let's finally talk about the gameplay.
Here we go.
I don't think there's a better feeling combat than FromSoft's, and this game is no exception.
FromSoft.
There's light attacks, heavy attacks, jump attacks, dash attacks, blocking, perfect blocks, guard counters, the usual. Night Rain players also feel right at home because they added Surge Sprint.
Yeah,
However,
nice.
They actually removed backstabs and backsteps.
Oh!
This makes complete sense given the fast pace of the game.
No backstabs.
And you start off with 2 heals, but you can earn more by defeating various enemies throughout the map. Healing is slow and methodical. You have to choose the right moment to use it. It's just slow enough that if a player is near you and you try to heal in their face, they'll be able to easily punish you and interrupt your heal.
Well, he said perfect guard. I don't know about parry, you know. No backstab honestly fixes a lot of like Dark Souls PvP, like, you know, where you backstab and either the guy doesn't take any damage and you go through the whole animation, or you teleport fucking 10 feet away and backstab him, or you front stab someone, or all of that.
As you may have noticed, there's now a huge emphasis on verticality. There's no fall damage and mantling, similar to Night Rain. Not only can you charge your jump, but you can quadra jump and even air dash. You can attack, shoot, and even use some abilities in the air. The map was clearly built with this verticality in mind, often having you jump over buildings and mountains to reach your destination. And speaking of the map, at the start of each round, you actually get to pick where you like to start.
Oh.
It lets you know how populated each area is by the density of the circle, and it may even place you elsewhere if it's too crowded.
Density of the circle. Wait, populated by PvE? Is that what he's saying?
At the start of each round, you actually get to pick where you like to start. It lets you know how populated each area is by the density of the circle, and it may even place you elsewhere if it's too crowded.
I guess while you're choosing, you can see if multiple people are picking that. Like, I suppose? I don't know.
Each area has a specific item that changes each round, making a dynamic experience that will send players to different places depending on what they want.
I just noticed these guys.
For example, one area might have exploration virtues one round, and the next it'll have weapon upgrades instead. Another huge feature is that you can pull up the map at any time during the match and fast travel to designated areas. This makes traversing these giant maps a lot easier. In Duskbloods, there's a visible stagger bar for each enemy, including yourself and other players. When an enemy's stagger gauge becomes full, they become temporarily vulnerable to a riposte, which lets you drink their blood to deal massive damage and gain more max health. It also spellbinds lesser enemies, making them your temporary ally. Because of this, you should try to stagger as many enemies as possible. Even if players heal on you, their stagger gauge remains. As I mentioned earlier, You can use your howl to cause a massive amount of stagger damage and instantly stagger enemies if they have a high stagger gauge. If your stagger gauge is high, try to avoid getting hit, as it recovers naturally over time. A small thing I discovered is that your kin can actually riposte for you if they're nearby a staggered opponent. I can't help but think this game was inspired by Armored Core 6 PvP with all the verticality and stagger system. Duskbloods returns to the 2-hit combo system, meaning if you get hit once, another hit is guaranteed. Compared to previous titles PvP, this is a whole new ball game.
Oh boy.
Yes, there are some fundamentals that'll carry over, like keeping pressure on opponents attempting to heal or close to staggering, and roll catching players panic rolling out of your combos. But the game itself feels totally different. It feels a lot more arcadey because of the dashing instead of rolling, and the insane amount of verticality you can get with quadra jumps and air dashes. You also have so much to keep track of. Your health, your stamina, your stagger gauge, your skill cooldowns, your kins. It feels like the game is going to have a tremendously high skill ceiling, which I'm very excited about. Something that I also noticed is that the weapons feel very similar in terms of speeds, which is a really good thing.
Okay.
This is because oftentimes the weapons in other games are just way too slow and way too easily reactable to even be viable in PvP. The exception is obviously Zork's Cable, but it has extra damage and hyper armor to compensate. This game finally feels like they put PvP first. There was also some strange tech that we discovered, that if you attack and time your dodge at a certain moment after you swing, it lets you dodge earlier and completely refund stamina. This was indicated by a bright white spark, and it was super hard to replicate. I'm not really sure what's going on with this, but I figured I'd mention it. Now, let's finally address the elephant in the room, the netcode. Unfortunately, I can't talk about the quality of the netcode because we're all playing in the same room. So obviously, for us, it felt flawless. It felt really good. But the true test will be the network test tomorrow. Yeah,
network test. We'll learn.
This is obviously my biggest concern for the game. So we'll see how it goes. Now let's move on and talk about the story. Unfortunately, it seems like they're saving a lot of the story elements for the full game, so I wasn't able to experience them at all. I also can't talk about the lore or the item descriptions, but trust me when I say they are FromSoft quality and will not disappoint. What I can talk about is their plans for telling the story. It'll be told through a system called Bloodlines, which can be progressed through certain events and character interactions. I have a feeling this is going to be very similar to Night Rain. Bloodlines also tie directly into character customization. Let's talk about graphics and performance.
Customization.
The game runs at 1080p and at around 40 to 50 FPS from what I can tell with my expert gamer eyes. I actually not sure. I would have really liked for them to reach a steady 60 FPS, but this is only just the network test, and they've already confirmed there'll be more optimization done before the full release, so we'll wait and see. As always, though, the art design is absolutely stunning. FromSoft never misses with how beautiful and unique their worlds are. The music was also incredible and tense. Everything you could expect from a From Software title. It was absolutely perfect, and I need the soundtrack right now. Now I want to talk a little about my experience traveling to Japan and visiting From Software's offices. When I first saw the email for this, I really thought it was a troll. I looked into it, and sure enough, it was legit, and I couldn't believe it. I still can't. I was one of 16 people invited out to this event, and it felt like winning the Willy Wonka golden ticket of video games. I got to meet up with an old friend, a very small indie YouTuber who you may have heard of, called Vadi Vidya, who also attended the event.
That's what happened to me with Sekiro. I went to a Japanese candy shop with Vati when I went to Japan. Vati gets to go to all of them. Bastard. Lucky bastard.
Theo 2. I'll link it in the description down below. I think each and every one of us had an absolute blast with the game. In my matches, I made it to the final round almost every single time, but only won about half of them. Now, as a PvP veteran, I actually expected to win nearly every single round. But the cool thing about this game is that it's structured in a way so that other players actually have a chance no matter what. Since it's 1v1v1, the other two players can decide to team up on you. It's just pure chaos, with each player spamming their skills and battling alongside their kins. It's super hard to keep track of everything happening. Damn! It's so much fun. I loved it. Even the matches I lost, I had an absolute blast. At the end of the event, I got to meet and chat with the director and producer of the Duskbloods, Miyazaki and Katao. They were both super nice, and it was an absolute honor to meet them.
Cold. Oof.
Now, I'd like to share some interesting tidbits with the interview from Miyazaki. The game has been in development since 2021,
Wow.
and it started being developed for the Switch 1.
Whoa.
They were very happy when the Switch 2 released because it finally had the hardware to support their vision. And early in development, the game actually started out with cute little chibi characters because they thought it would be suitable for Nintendo, but they quickly realized that it wasn't going to work. The Virtue Point system is inspired by the board game Catan. They plan to patch the game post-launch with bug fixes and balance patches. And in the full game, you'll be able to host private matches with your friends.
Private matches?
Miyazaki's favorite Bloodsworn are Zork and Layla. Now, to wrap this up...
Of course it's Zork! Fucking Miyazaki, dude.
What do I think about Duskbloods? I think it's going to be an incredible game. Not just for PvP invaders like myself, but for people who just want to explore and do PvE and co-op. There's actually a ton of options for them in this game. From Software is making a game that can be played in multiple different ways, and it's seriously incredible how it all just works. I think the biggest thing is that as a murder hobo who usually kills everyone on sight, I never felt the need to attack another player outside of sigils and ritual sites. When you kill another player normally, you get no virtue. It feels like a total waste of time. When I attack someone, there's always a specific reason for it in this game. It made the stakes way higher, and it made for much more interesting encounters.
Cool.
I also love how dynamic everything is. Every match feels different. You can make and break alliances with other players mid-match. You can get invited for an epic boss battle to fight alongside your sworn enemy one moment, then try to kill them the next. It makes for an amazing multiplayer experience that was clearly inspired from the best parts of Souls games, and it all comes together into something truly new and unique. For me, personally, I think this is my dream game.
Oh, shit.
After finally getting my hands on it, I cannot wait for the release.
No virtue for kills.
And speaking of release, there's no exact release date yet, but it's still scheduled for this year. When it finally does release, I plan on creating tons of content for this game for years to come. So please look forward to it. So that's about it. I want to take this moment to thank each and every one of you for watching and supporting the channel. It means the world to me, and I wouldn't have gotten this far without you. Anyways,
thank you.
You should subscribe to the channel for more Duskbloods.
Thumbs up. Oh, I'm not subscribed to him. Oops. Wait, joined the paid one. I'm subscribing though. Oh, I pay him. He knows. Thank you. Thank you. Angelman, thank you for the resub, by the way. Okay. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? We can watch Vati's video as well. He'll probably focus on more thematic and like links between other things, but also the gameplay and stuff, of course. I don't like watch YouTubers, you know, so I'm not subscribed anyway. Always online game equals not buying. That's fair. Totally fair. Slow Champ, 38 months. Welcome back. Repetitive slop. Okay. Well, you weren't listening.
Rose City.
That's fair.
One of the maps we were able to explore in our preview of the Duskbloods. As you can see, it's very easy to move around this city, thanks to the new jumps every character has.
Yeah, speak to me, Vati.
In combat, every character is also capable of this. A roar that, if properly timed, allows you to stagger enemies and feast on them.
Night Rain with
converting
PvP.
them to your side for a time.
Man, the boiling down goes hard.
Is named Albert.
What was that?
Like many characters, he has a melee weapon in his right hand and a ranged one in his left. He also has a suite of passives and abilities, but there's more I need to talk about than just the combat. I need to explain what kind of game this is and what we're fighting for right now. To that end, I'm going to try and walk you through what a typical match looks like from start to finish. So let's leave Loenro City and go back to the Duskbloods hub area.
Okay.
It's called the House of Night.
It's purely multiplayer game. We've known this for years.
Here, in this demo, at
or
least,
a year and a half, or
you can
however long
select
it's been
from
announced.
One of 6 Bloodsworn, browse this ever-growing archive of information, and practice all of your character skills against a target dummy in the courtyard.
We've known it was PvEVP since their very first interview, which was... When did they announce it? Let's see. Duskbloods reveal. reveal. Year. Wow. 1 year. What month? April. It's almost a year and a half ago. Yeah, mid 2025. They told us immediately. PvE VP. So if you missed that, I guess I can. Oh, hi. Oh, it's Leo. Hi, Leo. If you missed that, I get why you could be disappointed, but none of us, we all knew it was coming. We all knew what it was going to be.
You can either opt into a ranked or casual match. Here's how it works. Each match features
what is one thing that they mentioned on the website that I don't think they focus on very much. If you're not into PvP as much, there is an option to set bloodbound alliances where there is no PvP until the very final day. So it's like it's as if you were doing day 1 and day 2 of Night Rain, but there was no opportunity for other people to attack you. So you were just going around, you were doing your exploring, maybe you're doing boss kills, just seeking out the different things to activate for your virtue or whatever. And then at the end, or I guess I'll be interested to hear more because Oro said there could be like a Night Rain style boss at the end. So I don't know. I guess whoever has the most virtue points would win at that point. I don't know.
We'll either opt into a ranked or casual match. Here's how it works. Each match features 8 players playing in 3 rounds, but only 3 can make it to the final battle. At the end of the first round, players can all get stronger without punishment. But at the end of the second round, the 2 players with the lowest amount of what are called virtue points are culled and removed from the game. And then at the end of the third round, the 3 lowest scoring players are again culled.
The jetpack guy's name is Zork. His name is Zork. He's slow. And he can fucking rock it.
Leaving only 3 to do battle in the final round, where their health totals are boosted by the amount of virtue points they have. How do you get virtue points, you ask? Well, let's pretend we're just starting a game, and it will become clear. You start matchmaking by touching the Wheel of Blood in the House of Dusk, and once the system has put 8 of you together, you are all shown the map, divided into 4 quadrants. You all have to choose which quadrant you'd like to spawn into for this round. Now, you can't choose exactly where you'd like to spawn. For example, if I chose this top quadrant aiming for the city streets, I might end up spawning here, closer to the cave. That's what happens to Layla, who has spawned just outside the city streets. This works out perfectly for her though, because do you see those golden spires down in the streets? Those are landmarks you absolutely want to aim for early in the game.
This is the kin, right? Make you watch others play it out.
So these golden spires, these are where you pull allies
It's
from.
possible you have the option to spectate. I don't know though. Nobody's touched on that.
My life is yours to command.
These are like summoned spirits in Elden Ring, except these are fully fledged characters with voice lines and maybe even storylines to go down as well. There are 8 allies to be found in this demo, and the spirit you get is somewhat randomly generated depending on the symbol of the golden spire you pulled them from. To level your allies, you have to find these sites marked on the map. But beware, because if you switch allies, the old one and their levels will be lost, so taking the time to find the ally you like can be a waste of time, and in a game like this, time is everything. Luckily, to save you time, you can teleport basically anywhere on the map instantly, as long as you're out of combat. I love this system. I love how this opens up the map in the Duskbloods, because it makes your routing options so much more interesting when you could be anywhere on the map at a moment's notice. This player, for example, has found their way to the sewer. If you recall, there was a purple icon.
Of course Reddit is mulling over a network
map,
test.
which marks that a type of virtue called flame virtue
They're professional
can be found
molders.
here. You can actually see it off to the left ahead of us there.
Oh.
This is a corpse sitting in a chair with a purple aura, and it's one of many in this area, so this area is worth coming to, especially in the early stages of the game, because in my experience it would ensure that you would make it through the first few rounds without being culled. Claiming these is easy, you don't have to kill any bosses, and notably, claiming them denies other players from claiming them as well.
Okay.
It's so important to play efficiently in this game. Take Zork here, for example.
Take Zork
Not
here.
only does he use one of his abilities to cover ground and attack, but mid-combat he takes a break to upgrade his weapon with the fire affinity. There are 4 different weapon upgrades you can find. There's iron, poison, lightning, but Zork's is fire, which means his weapon now inflicts burning if he hits enemies enough. Speaking of upgrades, here's the Senator.
From the network
who
test,
was my favorite.
there is one map, and yes, there are random. Every time a phase ends, a different each part of the map will have a different activity that is kind of. Let me see if we find the map here. So you see these icons. This one, from what I read, this will indicate that those chairs he was interacting with that you light up. Those would be here. This indicates that there are basically crystal lizards that you would kill that upgrade your skills. This one is the kin upgrading stations. This is the weapon upgrading stations. Oh, I guess specifically it shows you which infusion is there too. So this would be fire. This is they said there was a iron infusion, which just increases the physical damage. This one is lightning, and then there's a poison one, but I don't see it on the map. I don't know what these feet are. There seem to be footprints. Maybe you can jump points or something. These are fast travel options. Oh, there's poison. Am I wait. Whatever. There's a poison and a lightning. It could be green, could be yellow. Regardless. Yeah, so that will change at the end of every phase, which probably also means I don't know if it means different enemies or just different points of interest. So there is randomization, kind of to the extent that I would expect with Night Rain, let's say. So it might not be crazy, right? But there are also 3 maps in the release version. So
to find the ally you like can be a waste of time, and in a game like this,
I went back pretty far.
Iron.
Here we go.
Speaking of upgrades,
there we go.
Here's the Senator, who was my favorite character in the demo.
Oh,
he's hunting a blood sack.
Votzi's a dinosaur main.
He can upgrade one of his 2 abilities in some way.
The feet spots are
These abilities are
for taking feet pictures.
And Saurian form.
Okay, so yeah, you do the crystal lizards. This lets you upgrade your class's abilities, which that's a considerable upgrade. For 1, attack power 252 to 290. Also max usages. I wonder how it's limited. Maybe you have to kill more enemies to get usages back, or maybe it's just cooldown over time. But either way, these are the abilities specific to the dinosaur man, and he's upgrading them here. Also, you can choose to not enhance. Curious. I don't know.
Which you'll see later on.
Oro said
Upgrades
cooldowns
to
on abilities
can also be found in marked sections of the map.
There you go.
In this courtyard below, for example, you can see a red upgrade orb behind these townsfolk.
I saw that.
And thanks to Chang's passive ability, she can turn multiple enemies to her side at once. Chang's L2 throws rings at opponents swiftly and consistently, which makes her a huge threat at mid-range, and especially when she's in the air. With this, I've shown you just about everything you could hope to achieve in one round, so let's pretend that round 1 is ending and round 2 begins now. At the start of some rounds, a sort of tarot card will be revealed, informing you of some world-altering event currently taking place. In this round, a Lodomerian Zeppelin will be prowling the skies, and every character will have a transmission box in their inventory with which they can call upon a sea of flame wherever they want. There were 5 events I experienced in this demo, Sometimes a magnetic storm would strike, forcing players to swap places with each other. Sometimes stars would fall from the sky, encouraging players to claim and hold onto them until the end of the round. Sometimes you'd be rewarded for ringing the bell at the top of the clock tower. And I even had one event where bloodsack enemies...
That's really cool because just environmentally you'll be able to tell, like, oh, somebody just rang the clock tower. Like when you hear somebody... Yeah. When you hear the gargoyles bell ring and you're in the parish and you're like, oh, they just killed gargoyles. That's a very cool way to just communicate stuff.
Even had one event where bloodsack enemies would spawn all over the place, allowing us to fully upgrade our abilities. These were all so fun to interact with, and they would really change how you moved around the map. In round 2, my character would also start feeling much more powerful, so I would prioritize taking on certain bosses. In the Duskbloods, these are called trespassers, and they're marked by purple skulls on your map. Some are tougher than others.
Yeah, he does have 6 legs.
Luckily, you don't always need to take them down on your own.
I hate the long front legs. Fetish content, yep. Oh,
if another player is nearby, they will receive a call for help.
If nearby.
And if they accept, they will teleport to your fight as a phantom, returned to where they were if they die, or if they manage to defeat the boss. Look at this Zork player. So they have both of their abilities unlocked, the missile barrage being one of them. That means this player has spent more time killing enemies and leveling up, and they might not have as much virtue as a result. However, the extra power they get from leveling up might actually help him get more virtue if that extra power translates into killing difficult bosses more easily. That's what felt beautifully designed about this game. Everything you do seems to lead to virtue in one way or another. At the end of the round, players who killed the most enemies or collected the most items can even receive commendations, which is the third way I've described of getting virtue so far.
Fucking double pizza cutter.
This rewards players who are single-minded in their goals.
Double
at
pizza
the expense
cutter.
of all else. Basically, no matter what you do, even if you don't know what you're doing, it feels like you do get virtue if you play well, and I liked that.
Gatling gun and a sniper
you can still make bad routing decisions. There was nothing worse than when you would bite off more than you could chew, challenging a difficult boss before you were strong enough, or counting on another player coming to help you, only for you to have to fight it alone. It's not just the threat of dying and losing virtue that would be scary, it's also the fear of a fight going on too long, to where your time might have been better spent doing something else.
And Vati hasn't mentioned it yet, but it's really interesting that, like, if you die, you just keep respawning until, you know, the very end or whatever. That makes it, especially if you're doing more of a PvP focus, it's like, the guy got me, but I get him next time. I learned his moves, you know, that sort of thing. So that's pretty cool.
Problem for this Senator player. They finish off this boss with Bloodstake, and they get to claim a power of blood from it. These are passives that allow you to further customize your character a little bit mid-match. It's around this time that round 2 would be ending, and now things really start heating up. The players with the 2 lowest virtue counts are culled, and the 6 remaining players move into round 3. In the top right this whole time, there has been a clock, which helps to give you an idea of how much time is left in a round. But that's
by the way, typically they don't do any UI for these sorts of things, so I think Vati has created these to kind of recreate what it looks like. So that's probably not what it finally looks like, but it's probably pretty close, because I remember Night Rain, he did that, and he was pretty accurate with the visuals on it, so... just so you know.
Shows, because in round 3...
Yes, you can be eliminated before the finale. The finale only is 3 people if you're doing full solos. It starts with 8. So at the end of round 2, they cut 2 people down to 6. And then before the final Battle Royale thing, they'll cut it down to 3. So you probably just get kicked out early, maybe with the option to spectate or just go to the next game. So, yeah, them's the breaks, but that's how it works.
A ritual site will be established. This is an event that's marked not just on the clock, but also on the map, encouraging players
You can
to
spectate.
teleport over and lose themselves in the chaos as you all meet in the same place.
Oh yeah, these ritual
The
sites
first
seem
thing
really
you want
interesting.
to do at a ritual site, ideally, is to locate either the gold stones or the red stones. This player has gone straight for the red stones, which, when held, increases the amount of virtue they receive for killing another player at the ritual site. This is called sword virtue, the fourth type of virtue I've explained so far, and the most fun to collect in my...
So just to explain, earlier, Oro had said you do not gain virtue from killing players. And while that's true, if you just see another player out in the world and you kill them with nothing else, you don't get virtue. However, in scenarios like this, where you all get funneled to one part of the map, and like he's saying, you pick up the blood buff or whatever, you will get virtue from killing players and accelerated if you choose to be a murderous hobo, murder hobo man. Also, you can have a personalized quest that is to kill another player. It does mess with the other player, but you're wasting time, right? You're not just playing against one other person. There are 6 other people that while you're just griefing somebody, they are getting more powerful by killing PvE, by exploring, by just acquiring virtue points or whatever. So, sure, you can do that, but it's not going to get you closer to winning. So,
my opinion.
I wonder if everyone can perfect guard, because all of the classes have a shield. I know that the dinosaur man gains attack power on perfect guard, which is pretty cool. So and there's no equipment, so I imagine you can just perfect block everything, something like that.
Is victorious, they approach this golden cross. This is a place that you can pledge to for even more virtue, and if you're sneaky enough, you don't even have to fight at all to claim it. I like how you have options. Are you going to try and steal the pledges unnoticed, or are you going to try and take out all the other players so that you can claim them? Or are you going to avoid the ritual sites completely and take advantage of the rest of the map? I'll let you enjoy this fight without commentary though, as these 6 players battle desperately to try and avoid being culled.
Zork, oh my god, the snake. Zork freaking gains more HP every time he does that, increases max HP. And that seems kind of crazy. I think, but Oro said like everybody gets that? Everybody gets more HP, but maybe he gets even more HP? I don't know. Until you get killed, or maybe what it was is you steal HP from the player you drink blood of. Is that what it was? Oh god, I don't know.
Avoid being culled.
Interrupted. Yeah, 4 jumps and air dash. Master of reusing shit. I mean, there are some things you're going to reuse. Dodging and attack animations. Like, why wouldn't you? Plenty of games reuse stuff because it works. And it's core to the gameplay, right? Everybody gets a shield. From what I read on the FromSoft page, Layla gets a sniper rifle. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah. Ever heard of Yakuza? Ever heard of Call of Duty? Oh. Eliminated.
It's hard to explain just how fun this experience is. The game starts out interesting and tense with little skirmishes with other players, but then it builds up to this ritual fight where you all face off against each other, and then culminates in this Moonblood Bestowal, the final fight where 3 players face off against each other.
The moon tears will be mine. Our turn has
With
come.
your summons
These
that you
fights
got.
were so hype. Everyone is fully powered up with unique abilities, summons, and even health based on how much virtue they accrued. With 3 players in the arena, there's enough chaos that anything can happen, even to more experienced PvP players. But each player also has 2 lives, which helps to mitigate a bit of the frustration you can feel
2
when
lives?
you're third-partied
Okay.
by someone else's powerful ability.
Okay.
The dinosaur definitely gave me more wins than I deserved.
I guess you can probably gravity kill them with this too, off the side. That's so good. Ooh, nice. Yeet! Oh my gosh. The aerial combat is crazy. Whoa, D-Step. Sorry I missed your super chat over there. $5. Thank you very much. Been watching your stream for years. Thanks for all you do with your content. It's been uplifting and a treasure to watch. Well, shit. Thank you so much. Hope you have a fantastic day, and thank you for that. Pom Pom Vicky, thank you for the Prime sub, and Talon ST, 69 months. Nice.
This is an exciting end to what is an extremely well-paced game, in my opinion. The victor is then rewarded with this cutscene, and that's it.
Which
For
will
the
be
demo,
skipped after the first
There's
time.
more to this game that we haven't yet seen. In the full game, for example, Grail battles aren't the only final round you can get.
Okay.
We've been told that there will be ways for you to customize your character to be more likely to encounter a co-op boss battle, among other things, for
See?
the final encounters,
Okay.
rather than the PvP round you just saw. In the full game, there's also going to be more potential for...
They're just breadcrumbing. They're like, oh, you don't like PvP? Well, there's a chance you just do PvE the whole time. And then you get trashed by fucking Ouroboros and
story and
Max
character
Bloodsworn
progression back at the House of Night between dusk battles. So even if you don't place first, you're still going to feel like you're getting stronger every time you play and like you're progressing the story as well. I'm intrigued to think how much they might develop the story in between battles. In the full game, there's also going to be more than 10 characters to choose from, and in the hub world, supposedly you're able to customize them more as well. There's also going to be 3 maps that ship with the final game, apparently, and there's also a final type of virtue that I didn't really get to show off, and it's one that I don't think anyone at the event really experimented much with. It's virtue through achieving your sigil goals. Sigils equipped before a match give you specific goals to try and achieve in the match. Take Jan here, for instance.
your sigil speaks.
Has the sigil of the Eye of Moralis equipped.
The marriage one. Yeah, I gotta get married to everybody, dude.
This
What
makes
is-
him a hunter.
I come see.
This makes him a hunter in this game, and the sigil will pair you with a heretic to try and take out during the game. Another thing I forgot to mention is the alliance system. You can queue up with another person you know at the start of the game and play through the whole game that way.
In the release version.
If you set your parameters correctly. Or you can actually ally with other people mid-game who you don't know as well. You can either do this by emoting at them basically when you meet them in-game, or after you've encountered another player, you can open a menu that will allow you to propose alliances to people that you've met.
And propose to people.
Under these alliances, all virtue is shared between you.
I will only deny marriage to you in Duskbloods if there's somebody else I plan to marry. So if I deny you, I apologize, but it's not you. It's me, okay? Just so you know.
And you're in it till the end. Well, then you kill each other. I just want to say I feel so privileged to have been able to experience the Duskbloods and to share it with you all. I'd like to give special thanks to everyone at Nintendo and From Software who helped to organize this event. It went really smoothly, and it was an amazing experience being able to get a few wins with like the whole room cheering behind you. I won't soon forget it. So, Look forward to more content on the Duskbloods when it releases.
Thanks, Vadi.
This game would really benefit from a beginner's guide, so I'm going to work on that, because there were Nintendo reps and From Software reps at the event who did a really good job explaining everything. And I think...
Honestly, I think... Yeah, naysayers, whatever. There's always going to be people who are like, well, this is slop, absolute trash. But reading all of the details that FromSoft posted on their page before going and seeing the actual gameplay, like, everything was in context, and it just makes so much more sense. And now I'm just thinking, like, okay, shit. So it's like, you got to figure out what your priorities are for the map and figure out your routes. But that changes. And it also, with the fast travel, it's not like Night Rain where you're like, okay, I got to go from southwest all the way to the northwest corner to get this church before the circle closes and that sort of thing. It doesn't seem like there's any sort of circle. It just seems like time-based, right? There's nothing that's funneling you into one particular part of the map. The whole map is available. Obviously, there will be other players that maybe they've chosen the PvP sigil and they're trying to seek you out. Do I want Miyazaki interview? Sure. Anything else big before we just, I go into hibernation until 5 a.m. in the morning. By the way, my plan for that, I think for the very first, let's look at the, where are they? Duskbloods, network, test, times. Here we go. All major time zones. Blah, 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 blah. Where is it? Conference. Okay. The first one is tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. my time. I think I will not stream, and I will play, but I'll probably get up at like 7 and play for like 2 hours or something. I won't stream that. I will probably... I don't know, like stream my face. I don't really know how to do this, dude. This is so dumb. Maybe by the time... Shut up! I don't fucking Reddit, dude. Yeah. So I don't think I'll stream the very first one, but I do plan to play it at least to get some experience with it. The other one of the time windows or whatever, I think is during my normal stream time anyways. What I'm hoping is that, like, the first one happens and then, like, everybody's streaming it and nothing happens, and then I'll be like, well, I guess I'll just stream it next time it's going or something like that. I don't know. My plan originally was, like, put a mini game on stream that chat can play, like, fucking, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know what I would put up there. And then I'm just playing. I also kind of am interested a little bit in trying out the handheld mode. But we'll see. Ah, there it is. Is this illegal? Oh, you can't even see it. I'm streaming it. This is illegal. Arrest me. Yeah, we watched Oro's video right before that. Hold on. Checking internet status. Receiving calibrations. Cannot log in. Service is either temporarily suspended or undergoing maintenance. Okay. All right. Anyways, yeah, so I guess we're going to see how it goes. I don't know. I would rather, I guess, just not stream it and give full focus to the game, but also I don't know if I'm going to play all of the network tests. For sure, not like the ones that are like fucking 5 in the morning. Those I don't really care as much about. There are some late night ones. For me, it's 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. I'll probably chill with those. We'll see. Miyazaki interview. Thank you, Little King, and not Spallis. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Thanks, everybody who's been reposting and posting. To fuck. Let me throw on some Shadow the Erdtree music. Sure. There you go. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh. Okay, hold on. I have my My other PC broke, so I have this backup PC, and I don't have like my software that lets me copy paste and stuff between interview between my two PCs. This one? Yeah, this looks right. Okay, let's see. Let me up the Divine Lion music. If you don't stream it, I want you to tell us your thoughts at least, though. I am never speaking my thoughts again. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to talk about it a lot. Absolutely. All my stream time we'll probably be talking about Duskbloods while we're trying to learn how to speedrun Mortal Shell 2, because that might be what I'm doing for now. Let's see. Hands-on preview, blah, 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 blah. I was able to talk to Miyazaki. Okay. The Duskbloods is quite different from anything you made so far, even coming off of Elden Ring Night Rain. Where did these ideas come from, and what was the driving force behind it? There's not really one... Fucking ads. Because there's not really one thing that specifically served as inspiration, but to go back, we initially had talks with Nintendo, and this was one of the things we pitched, I think, in a lot of our previous titles. Such as Demon Souls, Dark Souls, there were a lot of unique online elements, things like the Covenant system and invasions. In addition to that, there were also a lot of other things we wanted to try, things that seemed like great ideas, but didn't really fit in the context of a single-player game, or within the context of those games specifically. Over time, a lot of those ideas piled up, things that you wish you could have done here and there, having an outlet for them somewhere we can find a place where they all fit or can be made to fit specifically in that multiplayer context is something that was always at the forefront of my mind. Classic Miyazaki imagery. You previously mentioned that board games have been a great influence. I want to unpack that a little bit to get an idea of what you see in board games and rule sets, what really spoke to you, and how that made it into what the Duskbloods is now. 2 points I would say can specifically be pulled from board games. First is the virtue system, basically victory points, right? Something similar to that. That's something that isn't as direct as just battling each other. It's not directly a PvP thing. It's a common system in a lot of board games, and something that, through my own experience of playing board games, has definitely rubbed off on me. It's been something I constantly thought about. The other thing is the sigil system, which is very similar to a lot of RPG elements you might find in tabletop RPG. A lot of it was basically rolling dice to determine aspects of your character, and that was pretty much the extent of it. In my mind, I'd always wanted to have a way of controlling not just that, but the relationships between players and a variety of other elements that might be out of the scope of a TTRPG. Having gameplay elements for that is definitely something that I've been thinking about as well. Switch to exclusive. Is there more you can share about how and why you went with Nintendo? A little bit more detail about how the partnership came about. I know you said you pitched this, and it's pretty much the idea from the start. In terms of the reason that we had initially decided to go with Nintendo, we had an opportunity to discuss the idea for the game with them, and I think they seemed very excited and very receptive to the idea. They seemed very forward-thinking in terms of how to do it. Before considering the business aspect of it, that alone was something I found very appealing and gave me a lot more reassurance for moving forward with this. Yeah, but who reached out to who? It's got to be Nintendo going, hey, right? Like, why would they reach out to Nintendo specifically, right? Yeah. You would want to expand the platforms as much as possible. So, of course, this game isn't out yet, so there are more things to consider. But in terms of the relationship currently and how we think it's going up until this point, the systems and the overall rule set of the game are very unique. And I think having someone who can constantly give us feedback, support, additional ideas, balancing first of all, because these features are quite complex and difficult, having this relationship. How good is Nintendo at balance? Any Splatooners? I don't know. What PvP games did Nintendo have? Well, Smash Brothers, I guess. Smash Brothers and Splatoon? Yeah. With the complexity of the systems, the onboarding, tutorials, and making sure players understand how the game works and how to succeed in the game is something we've historically not been super great at conveying instantly. We definitely just drop players in and hope they would figure it out. In this case, Nintendo is definitely the right partner for better conveying that information in a way that's understandable to the player. Definitely suits their strengths. I feel like you're still just kind of going to drop in and figure it out, except that they do have the bot matches. So that is pretty cool that they're doing that. FromSoft games have always been like, here's the world, you figure it out. The Duskbloods has a multi-step tutorial, which is great for the basics. So I want to get into how you're thinking about finding and maintaining an audience that's going to stick with the game, given that it does have a lot of complexities with a higher barrier to entry than most multiplayer games. It's probably something you could say for all of our games, but we don't really have a set audience in mind at the start. Very much showing that this is what I wanted to make. The motivation is that this is a game I want to see exist. That's perfect. That's what I love about From Software, legit. Is they always are just like, we just wanted to make it, man, so that's why we made it. Whereas gamers are like, this isn't going to appeal to the mass people. This is stupid. This is slop and not, where's my Bloodborne 3? It's like, bro, they're doing what they want to do. If they don't want to make Bloodborne 2, then I don't want them to do it. Personally, I'm not very great at these high-intensity action games and things like PvP, so at the start, the audience really is just myself while thinking about how I would go at this. Are there systems in place that I would enjoy that cater to me as a player, not being someone who's really into that intense PvP? That's a lot of where it starts. In the network test version, obviously a lot of the features are somewhat limited, but in the final version, there's a lot of character customization, lore, and story. Things you can enjoy at your own pace as well, aside from the actual gameplay. Sounds more approachable in that sense than Night Rain, honestly. Night Rain has the remembrances, which are very nice, but you just got to play the game and do that there, which, I mean, you got to play the game and do that here too, but I don't know. We'll see. It's probably going to be a similar amount of approachability for story and stuff. While there are multiple phases you can commit to the PvE aspects, you always have to do PvP in the end if you make it that far, at least from this build. Oh, we played. That might not be a favorite aspect for folks who come to From Software games, but you mentioned earlier that there are other types of in-game phases that lean toward PvE. I want to get an idea of how you're accounting for players who might not like PvP and what you have planned for those kinds of players. You mentioned a bit earlier there's a co-op final phase that does exist. Through character customization, you can set things up so that if you prefer that, it's taken into account. That's one potential answer. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to be great at PvP in order to win. In order to further explain that, outside of the network test version and the full version of the game with the customization features you'll have access to, the kin can be further emphasized, and you can customize your character to further supplement their power to turn them into someone who can fight for you while you take a bit of a back seat. There will definitely be a section of the customization that caters towards that playstyle for people who don't want to necessarily always be in an intense PvP thing. Even if they make it to the end and want to take more of a backseat and enjoy the game in a different way. We're trying our best to cater to that playstyle as much as we can currently. Making a keep into the final round as one of the top 3 in itself is something that we see as amazing. It's definitely very challenging and very hard to do. Our hope is that we can continue to work on how that's portrayed and rewarded so that everyone feels like it's a big moment. Having things like story cutscenes and the way information is conveyed to players to show what they've done is amazing, even if they don't necessarily win. We don't want players to feel like unless they win, it was just a waste of time. Yeah, so that's cool. We definitely want them to understand it's not something that's easy to do by any means, even if they're not great at PvP. On the flip side, some of us here really like the PvP, and we're gathering around each other's screens during the final phase. Some of us are deep in fighting games, and it feels like it's tapping into that flow and vibe. Have you considered having something that's more PvP focused? While there isn't a specific mode that we plan on having available in the final game, there will be a system very similar to how invasions work in some of our previous games, where players can join a match as the other 8 players are already in that match as a scav, and you're essentially the 9th player on top of that. You don't have to gain virtue points or anything. Your goal is just to do PvP. Oh, shit. Systems like that are something we definitely have planned. And I think for those who that's their itch, hopefully that will scratch it to the extent that you mentioned. Oro is going to invade me every game, dude. And fucking teabag me. Oh. But maybe they just, like, they get a certain number of kills and then they go out or something like that. I don't know. Maybe? Because they don't have to worry about virtue stuff, so they just go in and do their fights, and maybe they acquire something like that. Or maybe there's a class quest that makes you go into another match and try and get a kill or something like that. IGN, being a multiplayer game in this day and age may come with certain expectations like constant updates and new content. Good question. How are you thinking about post-launch support, and how are you going to approach that once the game comes out? In terms of things like bug fixes and balancing, we plan on supporting that as much as we can. And we have experience with Night Rain when it comes to multiplayer games and the level of support that's required to keep those playable and balanced. We're definitely going into the Duskbloods with that in mind. In terms of a content roadmap, we're not really at a point where we can talk about that. From Software's development philosophy has very much been making a game that players adapt to. In a multiplayer setting, players are going to have a lot of opinions and you'll get a lot of feedback. How much you're willing to adjust the game based on that feedback. With it being a multiplayer game, there's definitely a level of listening that we would have to do and taking in that feedback, more so than a single player game. But I would say it's comparable to the multiplayer in some of our other games. I think with the Duskbloods being so complex and there being so many different ways to play, there's a lot that we really can't see currently in terms of what players will latch onto and what players might want to change. If anything, we're looking forward to the feedback because it helps us further clarify what it is that we want to do with the game. It's definitely something we're looking forward to for sure. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things in there. Balance is going to be a mess. They potentially 14 classes, that's a lot to balance. But I mean, we'll see. Are there any specific variables you're looking at right now with the network test in terms of adjustments, whether it be how virtue points are calculated or in match events? I want to get an idea of how much you're pulling the levers and adjusting things as you see as people start to play this game. I would say the sigil system is something we're very curious about in terms of how players will engage with it and if players will enjoy it. If there are things that need to be changed or adjusted, or just seeing what players latch onto is something we're very curious about. We have a couple of our own ideas, but we definitely want to see this in action and see how players approach that system. More specific to the network test version is the degree to which certain elements are randomized and non-randomized. Things like item and enemy placement or map events. It's hard to say at this point if the way we have it currently is the best. We'd like to see how players engage with it, and then we can actually take in the feedback and see if maybe some aspect is a little bit too random or if it actually works better being completely predetermined. Hopefully we can strike a really good balance that meets everyone's expectations. Have you been thinking about the skill gap widening as time goes on? As the game matures a couple months down the line, there are going to be a lot of high skill players who know exactly what to do. But I imagine you still want to be welcoming to newcomers to learn the game and still have a good time. Is that also something you want to see? You have to see over time. In terms of really, really good players, we definitely plan on having the matchmaking system work in a way so that it's ranked. And players who are really good tend to be matched with other players who are great. And players who are new tend to be matched with other new players, just to avoid situations like you mentioned. Another element is that even if you're not necessarily always winning the matches or making it to the end, there are things that you can unlock through just gameplay, like story content and customization for your character, which should allow you to enjoy it outside of the actual combat. How to update Splatoon 3. Wait, what? Oh, is that a feedback thing? Splatoon balancing. Okay, cool. We're hoping that can at least draw players in initially. They can enjoy the game for what it is and enjoy the story and the world. And then from there, if they want to continue to get better at the actual matches, then that's something they can do as well. This might not be something that comes out initially and may come a bit later on, but we're definitely considering ways to build a relationship between veteran players and new players, like a sprout system. Where was I? Oh my God. Oh, something that's positive and not always scary, or something they'd want to avoid. For example, things like event customization, having certain in-match events be very rare or have higher chances of appearing if you're in a game with someone who has been playing for a really long time. Or having the alliance system done in a way where you can specifically say that you want to be paired with someone who's really good and has a high rank. Well... And the player who's high rank can maybe have their settings prioritize pairing with newcomers if they want to help them out. That's cool. That's like jolly cooperation stuff. That's really nice. Very similar to leaving signs in front of a boss in our other games. We want this to be positive for both players, veterans to feel like they're contributing to the newcomers, and the newcomers to feel like they're being accepted and having fun with others. Making sure they're not split to where they don't want to interact with each other, it's definitely something to consider and something we want to look at in a positive way. Yeah, we've been doing this for almost 2 hours now. Hi, Jergy. Storytelling has been some players' favorite parts in FromSoft games. We have lore deep dives and fascinating video essays, and it's not just item descriptions or cryptic dialogue. But with the Duskbloods being multiplayer focused and not like Night Rain being attached to Elden Ring, how are you handling storytelling here? I see a lot going on in the House at Night hub area, but to what extent are you emphasizing story? In terms of storytelling, you had mentioned the House of Night, and that's definitely one aspect of it. Having NPCs appear and go into cutscenes to inform or explain something, some of the classic formula for sure. In addition to that, there's character customization, where unlocks and new abilities for your character that have meaning to them. They have some sort of backstory that ties into that character's memories and their history, scenarios like that which players can enjoy. This being a multiplayer game, we wanted to have a way... Fucking Splatoon. Google heard me and now is giving me Splatoon ads. That being a multiplayer game, we wanted to have a way to properly convey the story and have the story progress for these characters within the context of a multiplayer match, so it just doesn't just exist outside of the gameplay. Stop. Why is this? And the way we've ultimately thought of doing this is through the Bloodline system, which is essentially the customization system that we've been mentioning. There are relationships between some of these characters that might not initially be apparent, but can be shown based on them being in a match together. Another player with one of those characters with having a certain sigil equipped, or maybe during a certain event, that could create moments that unlock aspects of the story. There might be unique dialogue or things you can find out through almost random chance scenarios where you realize, like, oh, these characters actually connect in a certain way. You can just jump into an online match and still find things out about the story unexpectedly in some cases. Something we thought was a great fit for the multiplayer format. Duskbloods 100% run all secret dialogue unlocked. Unclog what? We put a lot of emphasis and thought into having unexpected dramatic moments occur in the gameplay just between other players, but also in the form of those story elements. Having you jump into a match and find out something you didn't know about a character, or always having something exciting and new happening, is something we took into account. And on the term we mentioned called Bloodlines, this is a feature you'll check in the House of Night. Now, some of these meetings happen online. Different elements of it will unlock, and you'll see your bloodline expand. Aside from a roadmap and content plans in the future, do you see the style of storytelling as something that can evolve with the game as well? While nothing specific in terms of additional content, we definitely do see the story and the relationships between our characters developing with additional content. We want that to be the case for sure. Going from Night Rain to the Duskbloods, is there a broader motivation in doing back-to-back multiplayer games? You mentioned simply having a bunch of ideas piled up and just wanting to do something with them, but how does this represent From Software? What does it mean for the future? At the end of the day, our motivation is always just to make a game that we want to play. Something we've been wanting to make. Like you had mentioned, this time around there were a lot of ideas that had piled up that I wanted to incorporate into a game. On the topic of Night Rain, it's funny because there was never really any big plan that these two games would both release next to each other. I mean, that's a different director, but both of those ideas just coincided with being multiplayer games. It's not necessarily some big reveal saying that this is the direction we plan to go moving forward. We still have a heavy focus on single-player content as well. This is just something that happened to work out the way it did. Personally, it's very fun to make a multiplayer game like this. It's not something we've done a lot, and we're looking forward to seeing players' reactions and getting the feedback. But it's like the more you work on something multiplayer for a long time, if anything, it scratches that itch only to want to make something single player again. It's like the focus on one feeds back into wanting to do the other. Oh yeah, for sure. I know you mentioned this game was a bit in development since 2021, but so much has changed in the gaming industry. We've seen a lot of multiplayer games launch, then fall by the wayside very quickly. Of course, From Software has its own reputation with a lot of success to back it up, but philosophically, how do you see the multiplayer landscape, and how do you feel about some of the trends of the gaming industry with regard to multiplayer games as you enter it? I would say in terms of trends and the direction of the industry in general, it's not really something I look at too much, if at all. Fucking legend. At the end of the day, I'm just focused on what I've been wanting to make, regardless of how viable that is from a business standpoint. That's how we got there, man. That's how we got there. I'll have a vision for a game, and I'm not super great at determining if this is going to be the most successful thing. The man made Demon Souls. Everybody hated Demon Souls, except for masochists. And then slowly over time, people are like, wait, maybe this is kind of cool. I'll have a vision for a game, and I think that's why having this relationship this time with Nintendo is great, because there's a lot that we can lean on them for while just focusing on the actual gameplay and what it is that I personally wanted to make. They can make it work outside of that. Making a game you want to make? No way. When seeing other multiplayer games, there's always a bit of us wanting to put our own spin on it as far as how we do it, or implement our ideas. Multiplayer games and online games in general, being able to play with other people is a very special thing. I think there are a lot of emotions probably behind it that coincide with the experience, which are somewhat different from playing a single-player game, even if they are similar. As for online games, I would say there's definitely a bright future. There's always going to be a need for people to interact with others. Even with the Duskbloods, there's probably still a lot we could have done and can do, so it's never a finished book when it comes to multiplayer games. I definitely don't look at it negatively at all. Unless it's Night Rain, which they're done with, right? Until they announce DLC 2. Announce DLC 2. All right. Okay. Brother, he literally said he doesn't care about whatever. I'm tired. I'm not looking at comments, dude. I'm not looking at any comments. Don't talk to me. I'm just here to play games, just like he's here to make something he wants to play. I'm not looking at comments. Okay, that's Duskbloods. I'm going to call you from the dusk, YouTube. And when I return, we're going to finish up Mortal Shell 2. Yes, I'm near the end, so spoilers. But I'm looking forward to this very much. I'm glad we got an info dump before the freaking network test even started. And I look very much forward to playing this. I'm hoping that after the first network test, it becomes apparent that, hey, people actually are streaming this or something. I don't know. I'm not going to be streaming it for starters, for sure. Maybe I'll do like one stream that's in my normal stream time where I'm just like talking about what I'm doing. But I'll be talking about my experience for sure, a whole lot. So, yeah. This is going to teach us a lot, and we've already learned a lot. If you have not gone through all the details on the official Duskbloods page, I recommend it because there's a lot of details in there, both about the character abilities, so you can start to decide who you want to play, about the map, figuring out how you're going to route a run, what it all entails, and all of that stuff. Also, like I said, if you see Lobos Jr., I don't know if it's going to be based on your Nintendo handle or what. I think I'm just Lobos. I don't think I am Lobos Jr. Can I change that? I guess it's a nickname. I'm gonna put Lobos Jr. If it takes it from your nickname and you see Lobos Jr., again, if you try to marry me and I deny you, it's because there's somebody else in my life, and I apologize. Jergy will send their alliance requests. Deny them. They are not to be trusted. Apparently, if you join an alliance and then you leave, you lose HP. You give HP to that person or something like that. So that's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. Anyways, we'll be back, YouTube, and wow. Like 14 hours until Duskbloods, basically. That's not right. 16 and a half hours.